All right, HVAC business owners. I've been asked a lot, how do we be successful with the market the way it is? Call volume's low, we don't have many leads, I can't find enough technicians, all the same problems we have all the time. It just seems to be worse now because I believe we're in a down economy. The news might not tell you we're in a recession, but I fully believe we are. I think we're going to be out of it soon, but we're not there yet. And what I'm going to tell you guys helps actually in the better times, but it's absolutely vital in the slow times or the low economy times. And that is how you have to be different in the market. Okay? I can come to any one of your markets and I could have probably 20 estimates for free on a new HVAC system, and they're all going to have wrap trucks, they're all going to have uniforms, they're all going to have warranties, they're all going to have guarantees, they're all going to have somewhat trained technicians talking to the homeowner, right? They're all going to have financing, right? They're all probably at least 60 to 75% are going to be using Service Titan, so that means their estimates are going to look the fucking same as yours. Like, how are you different in your market? How are you different? Okay, when all of these things came about many, many years ago, Jim Abrams, who started 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning, some of these other gurus that started a lot of these things, they started them 20 to 30 years ago. They would come into a market that never heard of financing. They would come into a market that every technician wore jeans and a beer t-shirt. They would come into a market where they had crappy trucks driving around, and they would absolutely dominate and blow them out of the water. Well, the problem is everybody has all that stuff now. So what are you going to do that's different? I'll tell you what we do and why we are so successful and why a lot of these big private equity groups or larger companies are successful is because they run a very stringent and strict sales process. They do not let any gold fall between the cracks on any call. And you need to be the same way. In fact, you need to be better than them because they don't have all the oversight because they have too many people and too much overhead. You, more than likely, have a smaller company than they do, so which means you can be more attentive to your people and you can watch them even closer to make sure these things don't happen. Call-by-call management will make that happen, but that's not what this is about. This is about being different in your market. Okay? And here's how you're different in HVAC. And the funny part is, me and my group, me and the people that have been doing this and developed this 5 to 7 years ago, we're 5 to 7 years ahead of you. I'm teaching you stuff we invented 7 years ago. All right? And implemented 5 to 6 years ago. You're just hearing about some of this now. And what we're doing different is airflow. Stop selling systems and start selling solutions. And when I mean solutions, I mean airflow. Almost all of your competitors are out there driving around giving system replacement estimates. And like I said, they all look the same. And when everybody is the same to a homeowner, the only thing they have to justify the differences is price. So if you all have wrap trucks and financing and all of these things, and they all get a Service Titan email with their estimates, what makes you different? Nothing. So you have to reverse the script. You have to flip it on its head. What most good companies do is they sell equipment, right? And then they add ductwork. That's what the good companies do. But if you want to be truly different in your market, and you want to flip it on its head, you want to sell ductwork. First, then add equipment as a discount. All right? Don't sell equipment and then add on the ductwork. That's good, but that's not going to flip it on its head. We need to sell the ductwork, then the equipment. Let me explain how this works. When we run a new system estimate, we actually talk the customer out of replacing the system. Yes, that's right. We actually talk them out of replacing the system. Why? Because 80% of all homes will fail airflow. And it's stupid to replace the system on a bad airflow. You're putting a brand new system in a bad environment. Okay? Watch my next video, part 2, and I'll explain a little bit more how we do this and why we do it. And spoiler alert, we still pitch the equipment, by the way. We just do it at the end of the call.